The fishing community in Independence Village and surrounding areas converged to discuss the regional lobster regulation by OPESCA, the Organization of Fisheries and Agriculture in Central America. The regulation changes the approved weight of lobster tails to 4.5 ounces. While the change may be only an additional half an ounce, the fishers say it has a huge impact on their bottom line.
I've been fishing since I was 14, so over 30 years already I've been a fisherman. It does have a big impact because, for instance, up north there's a different size of lobster. The size up there is known to be a little bit smaller than down south. Yes, indeed, down south we have bigger lobster, but there's certain time of the year in this here down south when the north season comes in for some reason. The lobster gets a bit smaller. The one we start catching then, they're a bit smaller, right? And so it will affect us big time because, well, we had COVID, right? And the cost of living just went up. Now the war out there, also the fuel gone up now. So it will affect us big time.
It will hurt the economy and our economy, our income by, let's say, about 50%. And we all have different bills, different things we need to pay, and our money will not be enough because they did not did the research properly. They did not ask the fisherman about the effects or the effect that it will have. They are just making decisions on their own, and they are not including fishermen in their decision making.
Carlos Castellanos from the Riversdale community on the peninsula attended the meeting. He has been a fisherman for 44 years and explains that during the pandemic he was affected, and this makes it worse. They collectively fear that the changes may trigger illegal fishing.
From January, from November, December, when the cold water come, the lobster start to get small, and then also the need for reproduce, need for grow, right? So that part will affect we.
It will affect our families, you know, our kids, or daily lives in a whole. It will affect us, and also, I personally don't see that it will benefit us. It won't benefit us in any way. I mean, because in paper, in ink and paper, you know, with a pen, it looks good probably, but in reality, we know we the fishermen know well that it won't work. It just will create a more bigger black market out there.
Last week, CEO in the Ministry of Blue Economy, Kennedy Carrillo, said that all stakeholders in the industry must come together and feared that the fishing community may not have true representation on the ministry's advisory council.
And I think that when we started this process in Keycocker, we saw a successful resolution because one of the most salient outcomes of these discussions is a lack of proper representation of the fishing community. Because you have the department and the ministry, you have the cooperatives who are the ones that sit on the Fisheries Advisory Council, which is really the highest mechanism for the decision making. Those are the ones that advise the minister on the decisions that need to be made. And so these cooperatives, 4 of them, well, 2 main cooperatives and the Shunush and Hopkins sit on the advisory council as representatives of the fisheries sector.
There's someone claiming to represent us in the south, you know, and speaking for us, but I don't know who appoint him to say that he's representing us, because we have no representation in the south from any individual in the south, you know. So the cooperatives are, yes, we have the 2 cooperatives down here, and we have also rainforests, but they are just buyers.
The fishers say they cannot afford to lose income with the increasing cost of living. They are asking for alternatives, or at least an option to make up for the income that will be lost.
We would like some different kind of alternatives if they already made decisions to change it, because they are taking 50% of our income just like that. It's like they are just holding our hands back and hitting us in our face and telling us we can't do anything. You understand? We're just supposed to accept the changes. We are not going to accept these changes. We feel robbed.
We need to be consulted, which he said we'll be consulted, but we never be consulted 100%. We need to be consulted about anything there.
This is like a last minute thing when we found out, you know, that all these changes, and there's a lot of changes that they are talking that they're going to be implemented, right? And I think each change that they plan to make needs to be look into individually to see where it affects us, the fisherman, right? The people wanted a change, so we made that change, right? But for betterment, not for worse, you know. So are you going to please Opesca, or are you going to fight for your country and your people, you know?
That's a question that will be asked this Friday, as the Ministry of Blue Economy will be having a public meeting with these fishermen from the south in Placencia. Dwayne Moody for News 5.